Hello, everybody. Jason up, New Age Revolution Cave for the Thursday program. That's right, the Thursday program. According to this, check this out, the fall TV lineup, TV guide that was beautifully made for me. See, that's an adverb there, Liam. Beautifully made for me by my man, Collectors Entertainment Network, a channel that you should go check out immediately, the Collectors Entertainment Network. Yes, indeed, it's Thursday. So Thursday is movies I've never seen until now. And we review a movie that, like the title suggests, I've never seen before until now. This is the first of two videos today because this is going to be a shorter one. And so when I have, a 7 or 8 minute video, I'm probably going to do a second one later in the day with a topic that wasn't included on the program listing, but a show topic that can just kind of be a holdover, right? A just in case, a fill-in. Things that stick in my craw. And I don't even know if I'm saying craw right. Is it crawl? Things that stick in my craw? I don't think so. I think it's a craw. We'll look into that. But things that stick in my craw is coming later tonight. Things that bug me. Mini rants, if you will. And I got a good one for later. But right now, we're going to talk about a movie that I've never seen before until now. That's right, a review of My Best Friend is a Vampire. Yes, from 1990. Now, the movies that I'm going to do for this show are not going to necessarily be 80s movies at all. They're going to be just movies. I've got one fired up for next week that I've never seen before. And it's like from a couple of years ago. So we'll do that. It'll I'd say the slight majority would be 80s movies, but I've got a VHS cabinet back there that's got 50s movies and 70s movies and all kinds of stuff. So it's going to be across the board movies. Anyway, My Best Friend is a Vampire. It took me a while to pick this up. This had been out for probably a month and a half before I grabbed it from Best Buy. And these Vestron Collectors Series videos are so great and so inexpensive. I think I paid like less than $15 for this movie. And when they come out, they're cheap, so we don't have to wait till they go from $29.99 down. These come out cheap. So I love that Vestron is doing this. This is number 30 in the Vestron series. I've got a bunch of them. I certainly don't have all 30, but they put out some good hidden gems. And let me tell you something, folks. This is a fantastically fun movie. I loved this movie. Absolutely loved it. Didn't want to turn it off the first night. Now, I have told you before, I usually watch movies over 2 or 3 nights, just based on the household schedule and how the children don't go to bed and how especially one of them keeps trying to come down and hang out, right? Right? I'm talking to you, Liam. No, he's ignoring me. Anyway, I have to watch movies over 2 or 3 nights. When I was watching this, I didn't want to stop it. I wanted to power through and keep watching. It's just so fun. It's so good. So we've got a character, Jeremy, this fella here what I enjoyed about this movie is nobody is a superstar in this movie. Nobody went on to do massive things in this movie. It's just it's just your I wanted to call it an 80s movie, but it's obviously a movie from 1990. But it's just one of those fun movies where you're like, here's a collection of sort of actors who, didn't blow up. There's no Corey Feldman in this. There's no, massive Brat Pack cast. It's just a fun collection of, I don't know. I don't want to insult anybody, but less than known actors. Jeremy, played by Robert Sean Leonard, is just your nerdy high school kid. I wouldn't even call him super nerdy. I mean, he's kind of meh, or in mid, as the kids say. He's mid, right, Liam? He's not too bad. He's not your Anthony Michael Hall at all. He's kind of in the middle. And all of these 80s / early 90s movies are about boys and their quest for girls. And my kid is sitting down here, so I can't expand. But that's what all these movies are. So you got Jeremy and his best pal Ralph, played by Eric Morand. Eric Morand, another fella that he might have gone on to do some stuff, but it's not stuff that I've watched. And other pals, and they're going through the trials and tribulations of high school, and it starts off that way. Well, Jeremy is kind of like what's that? What's the Uber for food? What's that called? DoorDash, whatever. He's kind of like a DoorDasher or an Instacarter in 1990. He's delivering groceries for a little gig, for a little part-time job, and he has to deliver groceries to this notoriously abandoned, haunted mansion, just, this big old house on the outskirts of town. And he's like, yeah, whatever, that's cool. And he goes in, and of course, there's a lovely woman who greets him and invites him in and seems to be all over him. And he's, this 17-year-old high schooler. He doesn't know what to do with this. And he's treated to a pleasant time by this lady. And she ends up being a vampire and sinks her teeth into him. So he leaves that encounter a vampire. And the whole movie is him just, trying to make sense of being a vampire. He doesn't believe it at first until he's proven to be a vampire. His friends obviously don't believe it. His parents are these like over the top, goofy, helicopter parents. They're funny. That's a funny aspect of the movie. But soon into the movie, he has a love interest. Yes, a love interest, a very appealing young lady that I've seen in other movies playing the nerd character. Her name is Cecilia Peck. She plays Nora, and she's got kind of that early 1990s, late 80s short haircut that I used to like and might still do. I don't know. But unfortunately, the Karen haircut style has ruined it for me. But I used to like it before it was associated with the Karen. So he and she start building their romance while he's a vampire, and she doesn't know it. But throughout the movie, she comes to terms with it. He's not a bad vampire. He's not a killer vampire, right? It's not one of those movies. He's not. He eats pigs. He drinks pig's blood and gets steaks from the store. Raw steaks, and blends them up in a blender. Like, that's how he gets his fix. He's pursued by this professor character who's really like the Van Helsing of the vampire movies. He's a vampire hunter. He's a professor. He's a doctor. So it's Van Helsing, and he's got this little lackey. He's got this little guy who's his little partner, his little associate, afraid of his own shadow, the associate. So this movie is about the Van Helsing pursuing Jeremy as any vampire hunter would do, and that is the movie. And it's even though it's 1990, I don't care. It's still tons of 80s feel, tons of, visual nostalgia, the houses, the streets, the school, the students, the dress. And that, that's always fun to look at. That's one of the main reasons I enjoy movies like this, is just to take it all in. But so the bad guys are chasing the good guys. All of the friends and family and the love interest all accept the fact that he's now a vampire, and they're trying to help him defeat these vampire hunters. And there's kind of a vampire like a mentor who shows up that only Jeremy can see. Kind of a teacher who's teaching him the ropes. He gives him a book to read about, now you're a vampire, so what, kind of deal. And he's instructing him the whole time. And spoil. I don't want to spoil. I won't spoil this one for you, I guess, in case you haven't seen it. But the vampire hunter and the vampire and the friends all have a square off at the end, and there's an ending. A happy ending, and Jeremy and his love interest ride off, and we don't know if he's going to bite her. We don't know if he's going to turn her into a vampire, and you kind of get the impression that this is just a kid who's just going to coexist as a vampire now and not hurt anybody and just drink pig's blood. So But it is fun throughout. It is never silly. I mean, well, of course it's silly. It's never boring. It's never like, oh God, this is dragging on. I love this movie, and I'm probably going to watch this multiple times again. This was an unexpected great buy. I have never seen My Best Friend is a Vampire until now, and you can for the low price of like $13. So go get it. All right, that is all. Next Thursday on the show, we will review a modern movie with a non-modern theme. I won't spoil it, but it'll be fun, and I'm looking forward to it. Kind of. I don't know. I don't do well with new movies. I get bored of them, but we'll see. Until then, good night.